Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So if you have been on the RPG Sim Discord lately, you've definitely heard of the Rune nerf and all of the debate it has caused. So in lobbies it is at a 2-second cooldown, but in the actual raid of EOT it is 1.5 seconds. I do not know why in lobbies it is this slow, but anyways, let's talk about the nerf. Let's see how much worse does it make EOT? How much harder is it now? So it is 1.5 seconds in EOT, it is no longer 2 seconds. Right when the anniversary update dropped, it was all the way down to 2 seconds, which was way too slow in my opinion. It made the raid incredibly long and incredibly painful, but now it's down to 1.5 seconds. And the average run with Rune at 1.5 second cooldown is still around 3.5 minutes to 5 minutes, which is a lot longer than it was before. Before this nerf, it was around a minute and a half or less if you have a very good team and good RNG. If not, it was around 2 minutes. So this nerf is pretty substantial, but in my opinion is not the end of the world. We can all agree in the comments down below that this rune pre-nerf was probably the most broken rune this game has ever seen, besides Ground Break back in Frost Dragon. This rune was ridiculous. It shredded everything in team play, and we could definitely all agree on that. Now, the 1.5 second cooldown makes this rune feel actually balanced. It is still a viable strategy to use. It is still very consistent. It still does this amount of damage you need it to do. It is just slightly slower. You still will get consistent runs. You will still not be dying with it because it isn't a Havoc based strategy. You're going to constantly have max health. So it's still safe and consistent. And that's the main thing with it. Is it slower? Yes, but if anything, it's somewhat balanced nowadays. Before it was ridiculous. Now, I will be honest, I do think something around 1.2 seconds would be a little bit more fair than 1.5 seconds. A 1 second cooldown was definitely too fast on it, I will agree with that. It was definitely way too broken before, but I do think 1.2 seconds would make it a little bit better, because farming hardcore EOT for fame and drops at an average 3.5 minute to 5 minute runtime is pretty dang slow. I know there is other strategies out there like using Havoc with Snow Angel and stuff like that, but those strategies are very risky and not nearly as consistent because oftentimes the player will die, because if you're using Havoc, well, obviously your goal is to keep your health very low, and if you're keeping your health very low, it takes one small slip up to have your entire team die and you have to restart and all that kind of stuff. Overall, as you can see in the background, the Rune strategy, no one's dying, everyone still has a lot of health, but it is definitely slower. It's not slower to the point where it is ridiculously painful to do. It is slower to the point to where the raid actually feels like a struggle again, which I do not think is the end of the world. The 1.5 seconds, like I said, definitely feels more balanced, but it doesn't feel as ridiculously broken as it did before. Now, 1.2 seconds would be a little bit better, but still, we'll have to see. Zeph did say he's done changing this rune, which if it stays at 1.5 seconds, that is okay. I mean, new strategies will form with it, but in my opinion, if it stays at 1.5 seconds, we should get some form of gear buff or some form of new crafted item to make up for the loss of damage that we obtained from having the Rune nerfed. Now, you can definitely still make this thing work in team play just fine. As you guys can see, we are finishing the raid just fine. 3.5 minutes really isn't that bad for a run. It is slower, of course, but really, this is still a very effective rune for teams. Very effective, and no one's gonna die due to the fact if you're using this in team play, the strategy is to keep your team at the highest health possible. There is that Snow Angel Havoc strategy, like I said, but that one is very risky. People will very likely die, and it is much more difficult to do. Anyways, this isn't going to be that long of a video. I just kind of wanted to talk about the nerf a little bit. I really want you guys in the comment section below to let me know your own opinions on this. Do you guys think this thing is too weak now? Do you think it's still too strong? Do you think the cooldown should be less? Do you think it should be more? I really want to know what the community thinks about this, because it's been such a massive topic of debate the last couple of days, and the feedback section has been kind of a mess with people on both sides either supporting the nerf, complaining about the nerf, and it's really been a mess. Now it's no longer as OP and still hard to get. So, and really there is a very hard situation to fix. There's a lot of people on both sides of the spectrum. In my opinion, I do think it should be down to 1.2 seconds instead of 1.5, but if it stays at 1.5, it isn't the end of the world, and you can still do very consistent hardcore runs with it. It is just going to take a little bit longer, and you might have to form more risky strategies with Havoc and such. Anyways, guys, this video is going to be very, very short. That is pretty much all I wanted to talk about. Comment down below what you guys think. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.